right, guys, welcome to another edition of the Bible Business Plan Podcast. About to throw some of the word at you and help you build a business that you know Christ will be proud of. And I'm super excited because it's not just me today. It's a good friend of mine, one of the absolute most genuine people you will ever meet in your life, a great Christian and a great business owner who helps other business owners be great business owners. Scott Beebe, what's up, man?
Man, we're hanging out. The only other place I wish I was on your lake on a wakeboard.
I know, right?
Round and round.
Hey, listen, get in the car, drive on up here.
This will do. I'm in a car, and we're good.
All right, man. Let's do it. Hey, tell everybody a little bit real quick about your business, just the nutshell version about what you do. I love this format because, you know, we always bring on real business owners, guys who are in the trenches, and also are leaning on God's word to make good decisions in their life and their business. So tell everybody what you do.
So I wake up every single day. I tell people Monday is my favorite day of the week, my most favorite day of the week, because what we get to do is wake up and liberate small business owners from their chaos. And that's what we do. We've got a proprietary framework called the 4 Steps to Business Freedom. And we walk small business owners, primarily under 25 million annual revenue and under 25 employees, but we walk them methodically out of the chaos and into this freedom through the structure that we've got. And it is so much fun. I've seen you've heard before, Shane, that the emperor has no clothes, and people look at business owners and they're like, "Oh my goodness, a business owner!" And then the business owner looks back, and in their mind they go, "Golly, if you only knew, I have no clothes on." You know?
Right? It's just chaos. I don't ever get to see my kids.
There.
Right?
Yeah. We're in there, and we love it. And there's nothing more exciting for us than to take a business owner who's in chaos, who doesn't spend time with their spouse, with their kids, with the things that really do matter most. And we get to see that transition over time.
Yeah.
Very hard. It's not easy. It's very methodical. It's a lot of sweat equity to get there. But my goodness, once they're there, they look back and go, "Oh, wow, this is incredible." So that's what we get to do.
Yeah, man. We automation and hiring people and all those strategic things that you're talking about. Man, I can remember one point in Jocelyn and my journey where we were not hiring people. We were not automating. We were trying to just do everything ourselves. And I can remember that chaos about brought our business down, you know, like we had to have a real come to Jesus meeting and say, we got to do something. We got to change something. And man, when we did that, that's when we really started to grow and do things well.
So Jesus said, automate. Is that what Jesus told you?
Jesus said, thou shalt create an autoresponder. Thou shalt hire a virtual assistant. Yes. He did that, man. Hey, listen. Jesus is timeless, but he also changes with the times. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's right, man. Whatever's going on. So, all right, man, listen, the reason we're all here is to study the Bible together as business owners. We're all busy. Sometimes we get trapped. We may neglect our Bible for a while, but that's why I'm doing this podcast, man, is just to be able to not only bring the word, but to bring specific words to people from the Bible that we can use in our businesses to really help people and really build ethical Bible-based businesses that Christ would be proud of. So if you could, man, share your favorite Bible verse or two that you have about from the Bible that are directly related or are easily applied to your business, and maybe a story of where you either applied it or maybe you didn't apply it and should have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, Shane, I've got two. There are two. They're both in the Old Testament. Some people have probably heard the first one, may not have heard the second one, or maybe read through it and just kind of blown past it. So the first one is this, and we talk about this all the time because it's so crucial. God tells Habakkuk. Habakkuk's kind of the whining prophet. Like, he's a baby, and you know, he gets his feelings hurt, and he's whining to God. And the first couple, he probably sounds a lot like me, quite frankly, if I was in his in his shoes or sandals or whatever he was wearing at the time. And so God comes back and kind of in this. I don't want to call it this bullish, overtone, but it might have been. And he comes back, and in Habakkuk 2:2, he tells Habakkuk, "I want you to write the vision down so that those who read it may run. And then wait its appointed time." And so when you read that, we translate that naturally into business, naturally into life. Not only do we have small business owners create their vision story for the business, but we've actually created a course that teaches people how to create a family vision, mission, and a core value set so that you can live. Like, for instance, our family's mission is to be a gospel-motivated light through adventure, creativity, and time around the table. And so we will do whatever it takes to spend money in those areas, to spend time in those areas. And the reason it's so crucial to write that stuff down, A, is because God said it was a good idea. Write the vision down.
That's crazy, dude. I'm telling you, like, you just blew my mind. Because like I've skimmed over that. You know what I mean? But like write it down. Like God literally said, write it down.
Write it down.
Yeah, man.
On tablets and wait its appointed time. It's incredible wisdom on the back end of that. But what happens, Shane, when we write it down, there's something in the subconscious. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But when we write it down, we're much more prone to go after that.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, and then look up from that. But look at the back part of that verse. Write the vision down so that those who read it may run. Now, I know we're not supposed to add or take away from the Bible and all that, but I'm going to add a little bit. Write the vision down so that those who read it may run towards it or away from it. So if you came to me and pulled up in your car and said, hey, Scott, hop in the car, let's go. What's my first question? Where are we going?
Yeah.
And so if you told me, hey, Scott, we're going to Des Moines, Iowa. No offense to folks who live in Des Moines, but like, I'm just not that interested.
Right.
Whereas if you said instead, hey, Scott, we're going to fly on Elon Musk's latest rocket ship to outer space, I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally in. So you laid the vision out. Now I get to decide whether I run towards it or run away from it.
Man.
That's why we've got to have our vision written down, because it polarizes people. And quite frankly, go back to what Jim Collins always says, get the right people on the bus, right people off. I don't want the wrong people on the bus.
Yeah.
And so I want them to tell me no if no is what's in their heart.
Yeah.
But the only way they know that is if it's written down.
I love that too, because I'm going to get even bigger and wider here. And I want to get that second verse too, because I know what it is and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to share it with everybody. But like, if you think about the Bible itself, like the actual word of God, the entire first part of the Bible was written as a vision statement to get to Christ. I mean, think about all the prophets, all the prophecies, everything is all fulfilled in Christ. But the whole thing was written to get you there. It's not like he started with the birth of Christ. He wrote all that stuff. This is my vision. This is how I'm going to redeem us. This is how I'm going to bring us back together. This is my plan for this. And those were given to us in the scriptures that, you know, the apostles and the disciples really they had them. They quote from them. So like, how do they know Jesus exists without the mission statement? How do they know? How do they know if the vision wasn't cast by the leader, God, what the result's going to be? You know what I mean? So,
Think about this as it relates
deep,
to vision. The earth does not exist if God does not have a vision of what it looks like. Because remember, it was formless and void, right? I mean, it was substance. That's it. But there was no form to it. And so God had to have a vision in order for there to be a form to it.
Yep.
You still got me? I think a phone call just came in. Sorry.
That's all right. Hey, man,
that's
I got
real time, bro.
That's right. Hey, this is real world. Nothing gets cut out of this show, baby. This is real. Everybody else is driving to work. They're getting phone calls. They're listening to the Bible stuff. It's good, man.
We're getting the same.
Yeah, I just bought a Think and Grow Rich workbook by Napoleon Hill. I've read the book, but I wanted to do the workbook and actually write some of this stuff down. And one of the things that you write down is a statement of desire, right? And you're kind of like writing that plan, writing that vision, and then I keep this on my desk now. I got this. I'm not going to tell anybody what the goal is right now, but the goal on this paper is December 31st, 2019. And like, I want this to be like withered and browned. And I want it to be sitting right here until then. And I got my vision going, man. So that's awesome.
Right.
Awesome verse, dude. That's Habakkuk 2:2. So let's go with the next one. I know you got another one. I want to share that and get that in here before we
All right,
wrap
so the
this
other
up.
one is in Exodus. And you're thinking, my goodness, man, you gave us two pretty boring books.
Listen, if you start going into a genealogy, you're off the show. I'm just telling you right now. All right, now go ahead.
We could do that too, but I'll spare that. All right, so let's go Exodus 35:31. And Moses talks about this guy named Bezalel, kind of a funky name. Bezalel, he's the son in this genealogy. I won't go into it. But in verse 31, it says that God has filled him with the Spirit of God, with skill, with intelligence, with knowledge, and with craftsmanship to devise artistic designs to work in gold and silver and bronze and cutting stones for setting and carving wood, for work in every skilled craft. You cannot tell me that what you do as the owner of a spray foam company or the owner of an auto mechanic shop or the owner of a restaurant or the owner of you fill in the blank, you cannot tell me that your work is not spiritual work. If God has called Bezalel and given him the spirit of skill, intelligence, knowledge, and craftsmanship for artistic design to work in gold and silver and bronze, you cannot tell me that your work in cumin and chicken and wrenches and brake pads and all that stuff, you cannot tell me that that is not work that has been directly given you from God, and you've got the skill set to be able to do that.
And what was there was another part after the bronze. What was the last part of that verse?
So it gets more specific. In cutting stones for setting and in carving wood and for every skilled craft.
For every skilled craft. Everything.
Right.
Like he didn't leave. He doesn't close the thing like, all right, these are the list of things.
That's right.
Everything.
Every skilled craft.
Everything, man. Yeah, dude.
And so, I mean, you don't even need to parse that out. I mean, it is so plain. And by the way, I'm not reading like the latest 2017 cool hip teen version of the Bible. This is the ESV version. Right. I mean, this is a mainstream version that it's laid out. There's actually a couple of places in Exodus 35 that they talk about this. And so to read the story of Bezalel and another guy named Oholiab, he has filled them with skill. In verse 35, it says to do every sort of work done by an engraver or designer, by an embroiderer, in scarlet wines by a weaver, by any sort of workman or skilled designer. It is right there, plain English, written for us to be able to read and to motivate us to help serve people with the skill set we've been given.
Yeah, man. And I love it too, because like me and you talk a lot about, whatever, we're talking business a lot. Me and you do a lot of different things in business, and we talk to a lot of people who own businesses. And it's so amazing how we compartmentalize our life, like to glorify God. And I told you off air, one of the reasons I started this podcast is because I started realizing that our other podcast, the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, the work we were doing in that business, which came from work we were doing with teachers, right? Mm-hmm. All of that was starting to penetrate places like Iran, Saudi Arabia, China. Our actual work we were doing was going to places where the gospel shouldn't be. It can't get in where darkness is. And it's all about like using your business. Okay. It's not just about me. It's not just about the people I'm serving. It's like, okay, this business will glorify God, and this business will be a spiritual business. I might be able to open some doors. I might be able to plant some seeds. Maybe I'm doing people's landscaping, whatever it is. It's going to glorify God, and it's going to be a business that Christ would be proud of,
because that skill that's been deposited in you has been deposited there by God himself.
For a reason. A reason. Yeah, man.
That's exactly right.
Crazy.
And so we screw around and don't do anything with that, or don't develop it. It's one of the reasons that I don't have a lot of patience when business owners will come and say, oh my goodness, I'm in chaos. I don't know what to do. And then we're like, all right, take this first step. And they go, and then we meet next week and have you taken that first step? Well, no. And you're taking the gift that God has given you and you're not leveraging it.
It's the same thing that we get when we try to tell, like I'll meet people all the time and they'll be like, hey, I've got this idea for an online business. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you could change people's lives. And they're like, no, this couldn't change anybody's lives. And then we're like, look, we wrote a year of lesson plans for elementary school librarians, but those librarians get to go home and eat with their kids and don't have to work at night, and they're less stressed, so they're more attentive to their spouse's needs and everything else. It can and will change people's lives if you'll just freaking use your gifts that you got. So
that's right.
All right, man. Listen, dude, those are two fantastic Bible verses. We will list both of those in the show notes, of course. And Scott, tell everybody where they can find you.
Easiest way is head on over to our online headquarters, mybusinessonpurpose.com. All one word, mybusinessonpurpose.com. We'd love to hear your story and how you're using God's gift and how you're writing that vision down so you can serve other people.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Bible Business Plan podcast. Make sure you head over to BibleBusinessPlan.com. You can also check us out and join our free Facebook group and get on our mailing list as well over Bible Business Plan, and we will send you a Bible verse every single day. So even if you can't tune in, you can flip open your email, get a little bit of the word, and then move on and do what God's got you to do. All right, guys, we're out. We'll see you tomorrow.